I'm Jennifer, the Chief Magical Officer of Quantum Touch, and I wanted to introduce my dear friend and colleague, Dan Spinner. And in case you missed it, we recently had a webinar on Biofield Awareness. I want to follow up our webinar with a couple of key takeaways about Biofield Awareness. Dan has an upcoming course on Biofield Awareness starting May 6th. So question number one, Dan, what is like the key takeaway that people will walk away from after taking your course?
Thanks, Jennifer. Great to be with you again today. I think the thing that we're finding is that what people get out of Biofield Awareness training, which remember is not just talking, but also body movement, gentle body movement, as well as guided journeys, etc. It's more than just talk, is their ability to change the nature of their relationships with themselves and with others. One of the premises of Biofield Awareness is that you have a biofield, I have a biofield, and they're meeting whether we know it or whether we want them to or not. And as we become aware of our own biofield, we become aware of the other's biofield. And when we do that, we have an opportunity to learn skills and the ability to harmonize our energy fields together, which what we found in the past few years of experimenting and beta tests is it really dramatically changes our relationship. We become more authentic, more vulnerable with one another, more honest, and more harmonious.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. And how, when you've changed your relationships, have you seen improvements in your life?
You know, I'll tell you what people have reported to us, and I've certainly seen changes in my life. One experiment we did in the past 2 years was with an adult family. And I mentioned this in the webinar, was to look at it more in the course. And this adult family was fairly ordinary middle-class family, but they had the usual dysfunction, how they communicated and how they got along. And working with them over a year and a half, maybe almost 2 years now, they report that their relationships have dramatically improved for the better. In other words, they are more honest with one another. One of them characterized it as, Dan, when we get together now in this Biofield Awareness sort of sacred space you create, our stories about one another drop away. So we're meeting one another as full human beings, sort of spirit to spirit, soul to soul, rather than just the son or the daughter or the mother. It takes them beyond sort of the stories or their history, even their historical stories about their family or their family dysfunction. And it's fascinating to watch, Jennifer, this family just blooming. The mother just had a little health crisis this week. And as distant as they are, the sister flew to Florida. The son was on the phone. They solved the problems. The mother's back home, and the mother felt incredibly loved and supported. Now, a lot of families can do that, but some families struggle to do that. Right? Who's going to take care of whom? Argue about the care, et cetera, et cetera. It's just a small but telling example this week of the improvement in their relationships. From my point of view, I've used this without having called it Biofield Awareness over the years to manifest. It's not hard for me to manifest, whether it be opportunities or jobs or businesses or houses or whatever it is, by using these techniques. And I don't mean in the sense of, getting money or girls or things. I mean in the sense of my higher service and my work for the higher good. By becoming aware of my biofield and putting my intentions in that clearly, it seems to amplify the biofield, and that dramatically increases my ability to manifest. And I've seen this with others in the business experiment we did in the past couple of years. In the very first year we were doing biofield work together, the sales of this company doubled, almost tripled. That wasn't the intention of what we were trying to do. We were just improving the relationships between the owners and the partners and the managers. So there's some evidence coming out now that says this stuff is potent and way beyond anything I ever expected.
I love that. Love that. One of the other hot topics on the webinar was abundance, financial abundance, and using biofield awareness to attract more abundance. Can you elaborate on that more?
It's very important to understand money as energy. And when we're stuck in our heads, what we're doing usually is buying the cultural meaning of money as a place of fear and or greed. That's basically what our capitalist structure creates in money. Money to me is like pure stream, but it gets polluted with our thoughts and our ideas. in our poor actions. So I think over the years, again, not calling it biofield, but now I'm narrowed down and much more aware of what I'm doing. I've understood money as energy. I've raised hundreds of millions of dollars easily for nonprofits and other organizations and businesses too. I never found it hard because I understood it as energy. But in order to do that, you have to get your ego out of the way. You can't be so desperate and so urgent that I need money or my business needs to succeed, trying to force it and will it. That's the usual way in the Western capitalist world. If you go the other way and you rise up to your higher self, your better self, you begin to practice your being centered and being in high flow and become aware of this incredible energy fields that we have, and so does everything else, you're going to begin to plug in to the natural abundance of the planet and the universe itself. Because the story in our Western world is it's a dog eat dog competitive world. You have to fight for every inch and every penny. And frankly, that just isn't true if you don't choose it to be true. So biofield awareness, we're now moving towards something we're newly calling biofield abundance, which is use your awareness of your biofield and others to be able to feel the energy of an abundant planet and universe and bring that to your financial needs and all your other abundant needs, whether it's relationships or housing or whatever it might be. And I think for energy healers in particular, Jennifer, I want to make one particular comment. I've noticed that the energy healers I work with, when they're thinking about money, they contract. Their cells close off, their whole biofield contracts. I can just sort of feel it and see it. When I tell them that, is that true? And they say, yes, that's actually true. That's part of what we're working on in Biofield Abundance is let's learn to open our cellular structures, right? Let's learn to open and expand our biofield when we're thinking or dealing with financial abundance and success.
Yeah, I think I've noticed people in our field feel that having a lot of money is somehow associated with something less than holy. That money is the opposite of service, that there's sort of a disconnect between the two. So when people think about wealthy people, they have certain constructs that seem to be, well, I don't want to be like that person who has a lot of money because they're jerks, or some sort of less than optimal description.
Well, yeah, we're back to greed and fear. There's no doubt that a lot of wealthy people are full of greed and fear. And power represents power to them, but not all wealthy people are. Thank goodness. I know quite a few wealthy people that are not like that, because it isn't money that makes you like that. It's the love of money, right? So I don't blame the people you've been talking to that are telling you that for their fear and concern about not wanting to be like that. But that isn't the only option. First of all, there are people that have considerable amount of money inherited or earned that are not like that. So there's a different model. But secondly, if you understand money as one more gift from the universe along with the other abundance, and it's gifting you to carry out your world service. It's not gifting you to feel better about yourself and to have power over others and to lord it over others and gain status, then you don't have to be that kind of wealthy person. You don't even have to be wealthy. You just want to be sustainable, right? There's an argument that says true wealth hurts the planet substantially in terms of what it means. But there's an argument that says that sustainability in your own business and in your own life financially is a whole nother kind of wealth. So I think we're redefining wealth and abundance in these ways. And I'm sure now that biofield and biofield awareness and abundance can help people to learn how to do this.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Yeah. I just want to cover a few of these topics that were hot topics in our webinar and in a short follow-up interview. And I really appreciate you offering this course. I know that when I get out of fear and greed and scarcity and all of that and start to navigate with the biofield, that my life does improve. And I also notice that I have ability to go back and forth and go back to fear and greed, or mostly fear. COVID seemed to bring out more fear within me because of how everything went down. But yes, I really love that you're bringing this out there, because people, especially after the last 2 years, I think people need to work on how to navigate their biofield to get out of the feed greer, fear, greed, scarcity, and that whole thing that the last 2 years have seemed to bring more of in people.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jennifer. And what what we're finding, because it's an embodied course, we're moving, we're not just thinking. Uh, it takes us an end run around the monkey mind. And when your body starts to get muscle memory of what it means to feel open and abundant and centered and calm, it's a different thing. It's what yoga does and many other practices, Qigong and Tai Chi, on and on. And so we're bringing a little bit of that embodiment in a way that it's designed to just let the mind go to the back burner. And so this kind of learning becomes more sort of whole body learning, and therefore we think deeper.
Great. Great. Well, thank you. Thank you for joining me for our interview. And
Well, thank you, Jennifer. And I hope that if someone feels attracted and called to this, we'd love to have them join the experiment.
Great. Well, thank you.